really talk grown right now? If you haven't spent no time with the family, it's not time to get physical. If you haven't spent enough time with her, seeing her mad, angry, sad, happy, frustrated, down, depressed, it's not time to get physical. Too many of y'all are trying to get physical too fast. Like for real, I need you to dig around that tree just a little bit, not a little bit, a lot more. Dig around the tree so that you can understand the intricate parts of her. Fellas, dig around the tree first. Ladies, dig around that tree. I get it. I understand. You're grown. You have desires, wants, and needs. But this is the crazy thing. If you don't learn how to control your desire, needs, and wants, you will find yourself in a lifetime full of pain. Trust me. I don't know this by reading a book. This is real life experience. Many of you lay down with people that you have no clue about their past. You have no education about their family. You have no education about who it is that they are. You don't even know the demons that they battle. But you ready to lay down with them?
Let you know, man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me
What's
out.
going on, family? I want to welcome you to Aos The Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Aos Inspires. This is what I need you to do. We're on every single platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I need you to go and subscribe and follow us right now. We drop content every single day that'll help you with your life, because our mission here at Aos The Podcast is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. I want you to live life on the next level. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that's watching this episode. This is going to be a dynamic episode. I need you to dive in. Do me a big favor. I need you to like, share, and comment. Don't be a stranger. I like comment with us. And this is what I need you also to do. I need you to copy this link right here on this podcast, this episode, and share it with at least 10 of your friends. I promise you, it's going to help them out. Let's jump into the episode. What's going on, family? I want to welcome you to another episode of Aos The Podcast. I'm your host, your boy, Mr. Aos Inspires. This is Aos The Podcast. I had to say that twice. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I want to jump right deep into this because this episode is really deep for me. And it's near and dear to my heart. And the reason it's near and dear to my heart, because many of you are making, women and men are making irrational decisions, and you sleeping with ops. I'm going to say that. I'm going to go crazy. Y'all sleeping with the wrong people. Like, you ain't digging deep. Why aren't you? This is crazy. I'm going to tell you this. I had a conversation with somebody this week, and it was like, yo, you should do an episode on they need to check the person's credit score. Like, we need to talk credit. And I'm going to talk about all that during this episode, because it's true. Because many of you, especially men, you find a woman, and I say this all the time. I'm going to keep on saying it. I might chop this one up for the reels. Fellas, I have an issue with you meeting a woman and you're not knowing whether you want to be with her or not. And then you saying that it takes me years or it takes me months to figure out if I want to be with this woman, but it only take you seconds to know if you want to have sex with her. I've got an issue with that. And it's crazy because, as I said in the beginning, like, you don't know enough about her or her family or him and his family before y'all get physical. That's a problem. And the biggest problem is a lot of people don't think as far out like this. If we get physical, suppose something happens and we slip up and have a baby, or you get pregnant. Yeah, same thing. You get pregnant, right? Now, I know the immature people, I don't believe in it. You know, I look at it like this. Do I believe that a woman should have a free right to do what she wants to do with her body as it pertains to abortion? Yes, I totally agree, right? Because a woman could get raped. A woman can get, and this is going to be big. I'm going to chop this one up. This is going to be big. I believe in a woman's right, right? I endorse this. I believe in a woman's right to be able to choose what she does with her body. If she gets pregnant and she decides that I don't want to have this baby, I believe that a woman should have that right, right? And I'm going to break that thing down to why I believe they have the right, but why she should have the right. But suppose she's been raped by a family member, or she discovers that the child is going to have some type of deformity or something that's wrong with the child. She don't want to have to raise a child up in that dilemma. She should have that right. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I have an issue with the government stepping in and saying, no, they don't have a right. No, you can't get an abortion, because you got to go through hell for her to get help from the government. EBT, housing, right? Healthcare. I mean, it's just milk. You just got to go through. And I'm going to tell you this too. There's certain type of milks. You need to look into that. What's going on, family? I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now. Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes & Noble's, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. Milk that they will allow you to get on WIC. I think it's WIC, right? Whatever they give the milk out for. There's only a certain type of milk, and it's crazy. I don't agree with that. She should be able to make her own decisions. I don't think that too many of y'all peel back this layer. You can call it a small layer. You call it whatever you want to call it. I don't think that many of you peel back this layer to say, hey, maybe I need to think twice before I lay down with this dude. Maybe I need to think twice. And many of you are having unprotected sex, which blows my mind. Like one night stands, I've met, you will be surprised how many women and men that I've had conversations with that had one night stands with somebody they just met, no condom. Blows my mind every single time. Like you don't know this person. You don't know if they have a disease. You don't know if they have something that they can't get rid of. You don't know about their hygiene. You know nothing about this person, and you're gambling your life because you feel how the way you feel in that moment is crazy. It's bananas. Now let me dig deep to this too, because I'm gonna peel back all these layers during this episode. Many of you have not done the research to spend time with the family and discover, are they the type of family that stay together, or are they the type of family that runs during a heated argument or a heated problem in a relationship and just leave and cheat and whatever. Like, you need to dig around a tree, right? I mean, you need to start digging around this tree so that you can find out information. Maybe the woman, and I've experienced this, dealing with a woman that was not raised with her father or had no relationship with her father, right? So when you have a situation like this, and this will be the video, the episode that go viral, which is crazy. But like I said, I've experienced this firsthand. I've experienced this, what I'm about to tell you right now, firsthand. You may be dealing with a woman that was not raised with her father, doesn't know her father, or didn't find out who her father was until later in life, and still doesn't have a relationship with him. You mess around and have a child with her, right? And you're trying to have a relationship with your children, but she turns your children against you. Why? Because she finds it okay not to have a father figure in their life. She thinks, oh, I can handle it by myself. I mean, listen, this is crazy. You can drive a car with your feet, but it doesn't make it a good idea. Just because you can do something does not make it a good idea for you to do it by yourself. And that's the thing that a lot of y'all don't dig deep into or look into. I am guilty of that. My first go around, my first marriage, I did that. Right? I did not dig too deep, and I'm up. This episode is going to be deep, right? Parent, Don't shelter your kids to the degree that when they get out there in the world, right? They get out there in the world and they just go haywire. My dad always told me this. He said this. He said, if you keep a dog locked up and you let that dog out, that dog is going to go crazy. I mean, it's going to be hard to get him back into that gate because he's been confined in this gate, this box for so long. So when he gets out, he's gone. I mean, he gonna get into everything, and it's gonna be crazy trying to get him back in, trying to reel him back in. Why? Because he's experiencing this type of freedom that he normally does not experience, and when he experiences this freedom, he's gonna love it. The same way with your children. Many of you are so sheltering or hiding your kids from certain things, and it's crazy. Like we were talking in this episode, we talking grown in this episode. Many of you are not letting your children know of your past mistakes, right? You want to look like a perfect angel in your child's eyesight. No, don't do that. Like that's the worst thing that you can do to your child is not allow them to know the truth about your past. It's cool that you want them to respect you. It's cool that you want them to look at you in high regards and say, wow, mommy, daddy, you guys are dope. I get it. But your child needs to know the truth from you, not from somebody in the streets, not from somebody that they read about, or not finding out because you didn't tell them or a family member told them. No, you need to tell them. Because this is why you need to tell them, because history repeats itself. Why do you think that it's a coincidence that your granddaddy has children out of wedlock, your dad has children out of wedlock, and you have children out of wedlock? Don't think that it's a coincidence that your mom was a single mom, then she met your dad, then your sister, has a situation where she has a child, she didn't get with him, but she got with the. It's not a coincidence, right? This thing is a cycle, and until you expose it to your children and you're trying to hide it from them, you'll never break that cycle. Like real talk. Like I want y'all to be cycle breakers. I want you to be able to break the cycle. I'm like, listen, this is how you do this thing properly. And this is the crazy thing. Many of you have great experience at doing it wrong. So since you have great experience in doing it wrong, you know the right way. So now that makes you qualified to tell the next generation, to tell your children or your nephews, your nieces, the right way to do it. Dig around that tree. Dig around the tree until you discover what you need to discover. Too many of y'all are not spending the right time in the right areas with the person that you're dating. Many of you are spending more time in the sex lane than you are in the financial lane. I get it. I understand. Sex is cool. I understand. Is it important? Yes, it is important in a relationship. However, it is not because I know some relationships, right, that have amazing sex, but their finances are tore up and they're on thin ice of breaking up. I know some relationships that, you look at them and they look good physically on paper, but they're going through hell behind closed doors, right? So the thing about it is, I'm not saying that all this can be prevented, but a major part of this can be prevented if you do your groundwork up front. Stop worrying about how that sex hit, right? Stop worrying about the things in a relationship. Like, I want to find out what color you like. You'll find out that kind of stuff, just by plain conversation, right? But what I need you to do is start digging deep. This is a big one too. This is the discussion that a lot of people say, don't let your person meet your family for at least until you know that you're serious. I understand, but what I like to say is I need to meet your family at least. If we spend the first month together and I'm like, yo, I rock with her or I rock with him, depending on your situation, whether you're a man or a woman, you're like, yo, I rock with her or I rock with him. You need to listen. I want to let's go to let's take your family out to dinner. Let me go into their element. Can they invite us over for dinner or can we invite them over for dinner? Whatever, however the case may be. Like you need to start digging. And the reason I say you need to start digging, because you can be with the person for years, but then get around the family and you see a totally different aspect of this person and their family. Now you need to make a decision. Is this the person that I really want to spend the rest of my life? Is this the person that I really want to be with? I guarantee you, when you start digging and doing your homework for real and start doing your real investigation, right? You will see this is not a good fit for me. But many of you are making decisions off a whim. And many of you watch this. This is a big one. Many of you are getting boxed in to make a decision real fast. Like for a prime example, during the pandemic, a lot of people had to move together. So since they moved together, now you got family members telling you, hey, you need to go ahead and do it right, get married, right? So now you're allowing the pressures of your family to make a decision that they really don't understand because they're not in the house. They're not in the relationship. It's you that I tell people this all the time. It's okay to take advice or listen to advice, but I need you to make a decision for yourself and move on the advice that you give yourself. Because this is the big thing, because everybody doesn't operate the same. Everybody doesn't move the same way. I'm not going to do the same things that you would do. You would never act in a situation the same way I would act in a situation. So why would you do exactly what I'm telling you to do? No, I give you some sound advice. I'll give you some sound suggestions. But at the end of the day, I would never tell somebody, do this or do that, do what I take. No. You make your own decisions. Because when you make your own decisions, if it goes wrong, you can't blame me. You only can blame you. You made the decision. So it's bananas, because a lot of people, even me, like I said, I'm guilty. I didn't dig around that tree first. And this is the crazy part. I knew better. I knew better. I knew that, and I was getting, it was signs. So, I mean, it's crazy because a lot of people are going to look at this video. Why are you bashing? I ain't bashing nobody. I'm telling the truth. This is the truth. I'm telling the truth. And I'm going through pain so that I can share with you so that you won't have to make the same decisions. At least you hear me going through what I'm going through, even though this is like a lot of people are like, why you ain't going into detail? I'm not going into details yet, but I will one day. This is not the time. I want to give you the surface level. Make good decisions about who you have children with, because this can affect and alter your entire life. Better yet, forget your life, forget her life. You will mess up another generation's life, right? And it's crazy because I'm trying to stay in contact with my babies as much as possible. I mean, of course, I'm going to tell you this. It's always three sides to a story. There's one person's side, the other person's side, and then the truth, right? Or better yet, how I like to say it is, there's one side of perspective, there's another side of perspective, but it's the actual perspective, right? Because we both can experience the same exact thing, but we have two different viewpoints of it, right? And one thing about it is, and I'm gonna just clarify right now, I can sleep good at night because I know I did right by my babies. I know I did right by my babies, period. But you won't have to experience this pain if you do what you're supposed to do in the front end. Start digging. And I get it, because so many of y'all are falling in love or fall in love with the possibilities or fall in love with the idea of being in love, that everything, all the red flags, everything that you're supposed to check, everything that you're supposed to dig deep under, you don't do it because you have fallen in the infatuation of falling in love. And it's a false representation of who this person is. And it's a false representation of what your future will look like with this person. You feel like this now. How many of y'all have met somebody and you just got the bubble guts? Like you couldn't wait to talk to them. You couldn't wait to be around them. But eventually, not saying that the love that you have for the person or the likeness that you have for the person goes away, but it does die down a lot. Like I can wait to be around you now. I want to be around you, but I can wait, right? So, I mean, this comes along with doing the homework, doing the research, doing the work, doing the digging. I'm going to keep on saying that throughout this whole episode. Dig deep. Because until you start digging deep to figure out who it is that they are, you will always find yourself in the quagmire. You will always find yourself getting to the edge of the finish line, but not finishing. Why? Because too many red flags and you can't cross over. And you're like, listen, I can't do this with this person. But you done spent 8 months with this person already. You could have found that out in the first month. You could have found this out in the second month, right? I've dealt with women, and I thought I did my due diligence in the beginning, but as I begin to dig deeper, I've discovered, no, this is not a perfect fit for me. And what's crazy is, like I said, many of you are digging. Many of you are not digging and you're getting physical. Then after you get, it's crazy because so many men, they get physical and they get comfortable. I'm talking about sex. They get comfortable with the physical. And then after they get comfortable, you begin to value her less. Not saying that you don't hold her in high value, but you begin to value her less because there's nothing more that she can offer you. Now you want to start doing the digging. Now you want to start doing the research. Now you want to start doing the checking. Now you want to start doing the looking in her life or looking at her family. And then you're like, yo, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Listen, the biggest reason, I'm going to tell you this from me. The biggest reason why I say don't get physical until you dig and discover that this is the person I want to be with. Why? Because when you're physical, it gives a distraction to you. Because red flags don't look like red flags. Red flags look like yellow flags. Let's really be honest. Red flags mean stop, go away. Yellow flags mean I'm going to slow down and just see what it's going to be like. Many of you are dealing with red flags and turning them into yellow flags. That is a bar. That's true. That's the truth. Many of you are taking red flags, turning them yellow or green. Like, you need to leave a long time. You need to go. Like, listen, I'm gonna keep on saying it. Dig, and before you get physical, dig. And if you think that you dug deep enough, keep on digging. There's more to find out. I'm not saying that you will know, and I'm a big fact. I'm not saying that when you get into a relationship and you get married, that after you have done your deepest of digging that you can do, that everything will work out perfect. No, that's not true. Because marriage is a gamble. It's a gamble. I am marrying you in good faith that you're going to uphold your side of the deal, and I'm going to uphold mine. I'm marrying you in good faith. It's a gamble. That's why it kills me when religious folks say, I don't believe in gambling. Well, you get married. That's a gamble. So, listen, fellas, please. If you don't hear nothing else I say, start doing some digging. Do some research. Ladies, do some digging. I'm out of here, man. Y'all going on, family? I want to say thank you for rocking with us during this episode. We have been so excited to drop this episode. I'm glad that you made it to the end. This is what I want you to do. If you have any takeaways from this episode, leave it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear how you feel. I want to bring content to you that's relevant to you, that'll help you change your life, because you already know our mission here at AOS Inspires, AOS The Podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. This is what I need you to do. I need you to like, subscribe, share this episode. If it spoke to your life, share this episode with somebody. Why? Because you are connected to some people that we're not connected with. And with that connection together, we can empower the world to never give up. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS The Podcast. I can't wait to see you next week. Just in case you didn't know, we drop every single week, 3 times a week. Mondays, 8 a.m., Wednesdays, 8 a.m., and Fridays, 8 a.m. You need to catch an episode. Matter of fact, catch all 3 episodes. It's going to be fire. I promise you it's going to help you doing your everyday life. It's going to help you get to the next level. Let's go.